Hello and welcome to United Report. This is your home for all the latest Manchester United news, match updates, transfer stories, and in-depth analysis. Stay connected and never miss a moment. Subscribe now to stay ahead with everything happening at Old Trafford. Liverpool will have to pay Benfica an extra £4.3 million if Darwin Núñez starts another Premier League match this season, it has been claimed. The Uruguayan's move to Anfield came with a number of add-ons for reaching certain milestones, but there's every chance the Reds don't end up paying the maximum. Núñez joined for an initial £64 million, rising to a potential £85 million if conditions are met. If Liverpool do end up meeting all those conditions, it would make him the most expensive signing in club history, topping the £75 million it took to sign Virgil van Dijk from Southampton in 2018. His time at Anfield looks to be nearing its end, though. The 25-year-old has started just one league game since the turn of the year, at home to Southampton, and has been linked with a summer exit. The lack of any further starts could be down to the potential financial impact of such a move. According to Ebola, a 50th league start would trigger another £4.3 million payment after previous payments for 10 and 25 outings respectively. Núñez has started just 8 times in the Premier League this season, with a further 17 outings as a substitute. He didn't feature in either of the last 2 league games, missing out entirely against West Ham and remaining on the bench at Leicester, even as Liverpool went into the final 20 minutes with the scores level at 0-0. Liverpool manager Arne Slot denied a bust-up with staff was responsible for the forward's absence against West Ham. He didn't feel himself the day before the match, and he went inside and he wasn't able to be part of the team the day after, Slot said, when confirming Núñez would return to the matchday squad against Leicester. Slot started with Luis Diaz through the middle at the King Power Stadium, with Mohamed Salah and Cody Gakpo out wide. Diogo Jota took the place of Gakpo around an hour in, but the double change 20 minutes from time focused on defence and midfield, with Trent Alexander-Arnold and Harvey Elliott coming on rather than attack. Alexander-Arnold made a near-instant impact, scoring what proved to be the winning goal. The right-back is expected to leave for Real Madrid in the summer, and Slot spoke about him after the win. Special for him because he worked so hard to be back in the squad, and as a result of that he had a big moment today, Slot told BBC Radio 5 Live. It could end up being Alexander-Arnold's final goal for the club, with just 5 league games remaining. I'm here for a year now, and all the players who wear the Liverpool shirt have a great reception from the fans, the manager added. If they miss a chance, score, whatever they do, we always have full support from our fans. I wouldn't have expected it any other way today, when Trent come on. Richard Keys believes Manchester United should turn to Gareth Southgate as their next manager, with Ruben Amorim still not getting a tune out of his side. The Portuguese coach has not yet had the desired impact, seeing them lose again at the weekend. Wolves were the latest team to head to Old Trafford and leave with all 3 points, leaving Amorim's side in 15th after another loss. The ex-Sporting Lisbon boss arrived with a big reputation, but is yet to show much progress, with the jury still out. Despite only being appointed in November, questions are being asked about whether the Manchester hierarchy should back Amorim to turn around their fortunes. He will need several new players during the summer transfer window if he and his philosophy are to be a success. Keys isn't convinced the United boss should be trusted to turn them into a winning force once again, and has pitched Southgate as a replacement after leaving his role with England. He asked on beIN Sports, "The question is, would you trust him now, from what we've seen, to rebuild Manchester United with another £250 million? Before he then put forward the case for Southgate, who has been a man without work since the summer. Keys began his explanation, on the grounds that he's taken England to 2 European Championship finals. He understands a modern player and what's required in order to make the modern player feel good about himself, his football team, and the club he plays for. He's a master of manipulation and motivation. Southgate took over an England side that hadn't challenged for decades, yet continually took them to the latter stages of tournaments. His personal touch and the way he dealt with the media were cited as real strengths of his management style. The 54-year-old has only had one job in club management, and that saw him preside over Middlesbrough's relegation. Southgate claimed in the past that he would like to one day return to the arena and prove himself, and the Manchester outfit would present him with that opportunity. Keys added, "You cannot knock the fact he took England to 2 finals and was a whisker away from winning something. He is available, and he's highly regarded as a coach. His club career was not littered with success, but what I'm saying is that he's grown as a coach, working with the finest talent available, into somebody who is a big club character. So why not? I believe he's someone who understands the modern player as well, or better than most. Speak to people who have worked with him, and they will give him a glowing reference." Manchester United are said to be nearing an agreement with Wolves star Matheus Cunha ahead of the summer transfer window. The forward has emerged as a top target for the Red Devils, and they are now hopeful of having terms in place as soon as next month. Cunha has scored an impressive 16 goals in 31 games for a Wolves side who have endured their struggles this season. The Brazilian was heavily linked with a move away in January, but he went on to sign a new contract and was involved as the Midlands side beat United at the weekend. Ruben Amorim's side will be able to activate a £62.5 million release clause to prize Cunha from Molineux, but would face significant competition should they attempt to do so. Mail Sport report that Newcastle are also interested in the 25-year-old, but that he has been swayed by the prospect of being a crucial component of Amorim's squad revamp at Old Trafford. United's boss has already appeared to signal his admiration of the star. The Portuguese head coach was spotted in conversation with Cunha earlier in the season, and was spotted heading into the tunnel with the ex-Atletico Madrid ace on Sunday. Amorim highlighted Cunha's talent when previewing his side's match against Wolves. The United boss said, "I think Pereira is doing an amazing job. He has real quality players, Matheus Cunha and all these guys. They have real quality." Speaking earlier this month, Amorim stressed the importance of the upcoming transfer window. The 40-year-old said, "There are characteristics we don't have in our squad, and we are trying to see about the gaps we have. When I say we need big players, I'm not talking about players from Real Madrid. I am talking about players in the way I see the game. Of course money helps. We need to be really good in recruitment. We need to know our system and the way we play, and the players have to be perfect for their positions. So we know what we have to do, that is clear, and we will see next season." Ipswich Town forward Liam Delap is also among United's targets as they look to replenish an ailing forward line. The 13-time Premier League champions have scored just 38 goals in the Premier League this term. United are eyeing the former Manchester City youngster, who has a £30 million release clause. They face competition from Chelsea for the England Youth International. It has also been touted that United are considering using Marcus Rashford in a shock swap deal, as they attempt to lure Ollie Watkins. Both sides are still fighting to offer Champions League football, with the Red Devils able to secure qualification if they win the Europa League. Pablo Sarabia produced a spectacular free kick to send Manchester United to defeat once again at Old Trafford, days on from Ruben Amorim admitting he will now prioritise the Europa League. The two teams threatened to play out a drab draw before a special strike from Wolves' Spain international earned the visitors a 5th win in a row. The Theatre of Dreams risked putting the audience to sleep at times during the opening half, with neither side proving much of a threat. Discounting a Christian Eriksen free kick, the first 45 minutes didn't see a shot on target. The sides cancelled each other out with their respective back threes and found little room for ambition. With little for either team to play for in the final 6 matches, you would hope for a degree of freedom and risk, but none was on display for much of the game. Ruben Amorim called upon the cavalry before 60 minutes was on the clock, as Bruno Fernandes entered the fray, alongside Mason Mount and Diogo Dalot. But it remained easy to see why United have only beaten one team outside the bottom 3 in 2025, even if they were scarcely threatened themselves. A rare run from Matheus Cunha earned Wolves a free kick in a good position, and substitute Sarabia took full advantage after 77 minutes to see Wolves pull level with United in the Premier League. United Report takes a look at the talking points to arise from the clash. Ruben Amorim admitted following United's dramatic win over Lyon the Premier League would become a platform for utilising the club's young stars. The Portuguese coach went on to admit, now is not an ideal time for youngsters to be making their way into the first team environment. I think it is not the best moment or the best season to put some kids to play, because again, they need a strong base to really show what they can do, said Amorim. But in this moment we need to do it, and sometimes you have surprises. Are the prospects meant to be happy after that? Nevertheless, Amorim stuck to his word, and 20-year-old Tyler Fredrickson earned his first team debut as part of a back three, with Harry Maguire the wing-back to his left. The pair offered more than most to cheer about with solid performances. Fredrickson stifled Jørgen Strand Larsen, and Maguire working up and down the flank well. At least they could be afforded some time to develop. The fitness of Luke Shaw is always going to be much debated, but the defender's absence on this occasion was not as a result of an injury setback. The England international played 75 minutes against Lyon on Thursday, having only played 12 minutes following his return from injury previous to that. Instead of participating at Old Trafford, Shaw trained at Carrington earlier in the day as the club managed his fitness, having spent most of the season out injured. The fullback has plenty to do to prove his merits before the summer, however. While there has been little to be happy about on the pitch this season, United supporters continue to highlight other problems at the club. Protests over rising ticket prices at Old Trafford were again present as signs were shown towards the director's box. The messages continue to be shown around the world via broadcast cameras, but the message cannot be ignored by the club. Chief Executive Omar Barada is sure to have seen the discontent sent in his direction, and for much of the match, there was little to distract from it. After an 8th home defeat of the season, there's little sign of things improving on or off the pitch in the Premier League before the end of 2024/25. It says a lot about Manchester United that Wolves arrived at Old Trafford as favourites in the eyes of many. Despite the Red Devils sitting 3 places above Vitor Pereira's side, more appeared to be expected of the likes of Matheus Cunha and co., particularly when Bruno Fernandes was listed among the substitutes. The Portuguese midfielder has often been the only source of quality and entertainment at United, and there was only a dirge of that on offer on Sunday afternoon. Christian Eriksen did his best to remind spectators of his incisive passing, ahead of his contract expiring in the summer, and his set-piece delivery provided more threat than anything else. But it was not enough for Amorim to let play go on without his talisman as Fernandes entered the fold before the hour mark. The Red Devils found themselves in better areas from this point, but after starting a smart move, even Fernandes could only remarkably fire wide from a good position in the 74th minute. As the league table suggests, Fernandes is not enough to turn things around at United by himself. Perhaps it is unfair to judge United on the efforts of a rotated team, but it appeared it was the same question that were on display at Old Trafford against Wolves. United did not offer enough threat as they attempted to add to their paltry 38 goals in 33 matches this season. Rasmus Højlund had just 8 touches in the opening half, suggesting that the system or players around him were as much an issue as his own performance. The Dane offered an exquisite touch on the halfway line to break past Wolves' backline in the second period, but ultimately he slowed down and failed to shoot or make a pass before being tackled. So often it simply wasn't good enough. After Thursday, maybe there's an argument a Harry Maguire figure would get on the end of some tempting crosses produced by Maguire and Patrick Dorgu. United also may need to find some new methods of attack. United have already been linked to Matheus Cunha already this season, but the Brazilian was fairly anonymous. The 25-year-old made a telling contribution to earn Wolves a match-winning free kick, however.